What would you do with the power to control time? Would you go back to an embarrassing moment you had and try to redo it? Or maybe give yourself more time in your week to study for that big exam that you know you flunked? Or maybe go back to before you watch this video and click on a different one?
Please don't do that one. I work really hard on these.
Well, bad news is this isn't a video about how to make your own time machine. However, I'd like to highlight that second scenario I gave because I find that a lot of people have trouble organizing their week and they have a lot of difficulty with scheduling. And I had that same problem, but I found a way that works for me and I would like to share it because I think that it's good information to share and it might help you guys out. So let's get to it. Now, to understand the goal of what I'm trying to help you achieve here, it's not to fill every single second of your day with just work and productive things, because in all honesty, you and I both know that we're not robots, we're human beings, and we deserve that time to go hang out with friends, or, maybe even just take a nap, or go watch something dumb on your phone. However, what we're trying to create here is a balance between the things that need to get done and the things that you want to get done. Because a lot of people, they kind of swing more towards that want side, and a lot of the things that they need to do kind of get put into the back burner, which leads to a lot of people having anxiety when it comes to taking on their week-to-week life. Now, I'm not getting paid to tell you which one is the best, so understand that the reason I've came to this conclusion is because I've tested almost everything, and the one that works the absolute best is Google Calendar.
So I just switched over to my computer. The screen that you can see is the same one that I have pulled up right here, and I'm just going to run through a couple of the tools that I like to use that helped me get my weeks together to hopefully help you get your weeks together as well. So the first place I want to show off is this left toolbar area, and you'll see this little drop down called My Calendars. Essentially, you already have 3 calendars pretty much made by default. You have one that's most likely going to be your name, as well as a birthdays tab and a tasks tab. And the thing about Google Calendars is that you can actually toggle these off and on. So say you have all kinds of different events in one of your calendars and you don't want to see all that clutter when you're trying to go back and look at the days coming up, you can always just toggle them off and on. The only other calendar that you'll probably have made by default is the holidays in whatever your country you're from. I'm from the United States, so if I actually go back 2 weeks, we just celebrated Independence Day, 4th of July, and so you can see that's on the calendar in this top right here. And like I said, you can always toggle these calendars off and on if you ever want to just get rid of some of that clutter on your screen. So that's all fine and dandy, but how do I actually make events on Google Calendars? Well, it's extremely simple. On specifically computer, you can just go to whatever time you want and just drag down. So say I have work from 9 to 5, I find 9 o'clock, which is right here, and I'm just going to click and drag straight down to 5 o'clock. And there we go. Now I can put down my label. I have work. If you ever accidentally misclick, let's just say I went to 9:15 or 9:30, you could always just manually change the times here. And what's really cool is that you can always repeat them as well. So let's just say you have it every week on Monday. You could do weekly on Monday, and then that will save. So if I go to next week, you'll see it's there as well. And then the week after, and the week after, and it'll just go on forever until you just delete one, and then you hit delete and following events, and then it'll just save the ones going up to that date, but then it won't continue them for the weeks after. So that's really cool. And what's cool about specifically the browser version is these blocks are super dynamic. You can drag them to Tuesday instead. And you could do this in all the following events because we put them as repeating. You could also drag them up and down. So let's just say you have work at 10, it got a little bit delayed, and you could just drag it like there perfectly. You can also change the color of these by right-clicking. So say that you want to get a little bit color-coded with your calendars. You could always make events like that. So you can organize, work being orange or in personal activities being blue. And another thing you can do is if you click it, you can hit this other options and duplicate events. So if you want to duplicate your work event, say you work 3 days a week, you can duplicate it, change the date for I believe I dragged that to Wednesday, so we'll make it Thursday, and save, and then boom, look at that, you just have 2 events there. And since we had the repeating tag, this should repeat into the next week as well. Perfect. So that's ways that you can create events, and obviously you can create a ton of events on one day. So let's just say you're waking up from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and you want to just put that as get ready for work. There you go. And then let's just say after work you have like a soccer game that you have to go to. You can just write soccer game and save that. And then there we go. We're already blocking out our week very easily. So you can only do this like once a week. It's super easy, and honestly, you can even go like once a month, for example, if you want to do it month to month, or let's just say you're pretty busy and you have a lot of dense activities per week, you could always just make it like a 4-day schedule, or even just a 1-day schedule, and you just block it out hour to hour. Whatever you want to do, Google Calendars typically has the functionality to do so. So as I mentioned earlier, you can have multiple different calendars on the same account. So I just went ahead and blocked out like an average week, and let's just say you want to make one for your personal like free time. Real quick, the way that you would do that is you would go to other calendars and you'll see the little plus sign that says add another calendar. You can hit create new calendar. We'll just name this one free time like that, and then create calendar. It's going to create that real quick, and then we can see it right here on the left toolbar. There's a new one that's called free time. So real quick, let's turn off the other calendars, and if you wanted to create an event for specifically this free time calendar, you would do it in roughly the same way. You would just drag out a blocks like this. However, at the bottom here, you'll see that a calendar that's selected is free time. If I wanted it to be on the other one, I would click my calendar. However, we're doing it for free time, so we're going to click the free time one. And then we'll just name this read, you know, just in case you want to read a book. You'll reserve the time for that, and beautiful, there it is right there. And then we can real quick select the other calendars, and you can see everything's all lined up there. We can turn off the personal calendar. You could just see the free time one, and vice versa. If you want to just take off that free time event, that's how you would do that as well. Now, I just showed you all the basics on how to organize your week to week, your month to month, whatever it is. It will 100% help you get on task. It helped me get on task. And one thing that I will say though is that if you're the type of person that might not have the discipline to sit down and create your plan for the next week, create your plan for the next day, whatever the case may be, one tool that I found that really helped me out is by using AI, specifically Claude, to help design your calendar for you. So that way you don't have to sit there and teeter with every single little box and stuff like that. So let me show you how to do that. You're going to go into Claude and you're going to log in, and then once you're on the screen that looks like this, you're going to hit customize and connectors, and from here you might have it already on there, but if you don't, you're going to click add, browse connectors, and then type in Google Calendar, and then you'll click the little plus sign right here, and it will ask you to sign in. You're going to sign in with whatever character or whatever account you want to use. And then you're going to have to give it permissions. It most likely will ask, like, are you okay with Claude seeing your calendar, creating events, deleting events, whatever. Just say yes, because obviously it can't do the things that you want it to do if it doesn't have those permissions. And then once you have all that set up, you can see in your connectors that we have Google Calendar and it's connected. So what do we do from there? Well, it's pretty simple. You can literally just write in the text box, create these events for me. So I cleared off the calendar. As you can see, I don't have anything ticked off or anything. I just deleted all the events, so we have a fresh calendar to look at here. And you just go into the prompt and you'll just be like, I have work from 9 to 5, only on weekdays. I have soccer from 7 to 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we'll just throw in a fun one like, I have a birthday party this Friday from 6 to 10 p.m. Beautiful. And then you can just write, add these to my Google Calendar. And as simple as that, it's just going to think for a little bit, and then it's going to just try to understand what exactly you're asking for it. It's finding tools, so that means it's going to find the Google Calendar, and then you can see it's creating events as we speak right there in the prompt. If you go over here, 9 to 5, soccer from 7 to 9, and then I'm sure if I refresh real quick, we have that birthday party generated right there. Easy as pie. And then of course you can go in here and tweak these later. Let's just say we want work to be tangerine instead, and then we'll do this for all events, and then beautiful, just like that we could change that, and it's as simple as that. So I personally love using AI for generating my calendar week to week. It definitely saves a lot of time and it makes the whole process a lot easier because I can kind of just talk to it like a person instead of like, you know, trying to figure out all the little days and times and stuff like that. I'll just list them off. I'll just use it for brainstorming. I'll be like, oh yeah, I do have that. I have that as well. I have that as well. You can kind of be dumb with the way that you tell it because it'll just know what you're talking about and just generate it that much easier.
And that about wraps things up for today. So hopefully I taught you guys a new tool that you might not have known of. I know it's definitely benefited my life, and so maybe it could help you guys out as well. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday for another video.